Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we will learn how we can work with the REST API in Power Automate Desktop. So please watch this video till then so that you can understand it completely. So let's get started. So here you can see that I have accessed the request.in where we can test the API. Okay, so they provide some fake data using which we can make some API calls and we will retrieve some data and we can see how it will work, right? Okay, so what we will do here is, so let's say here we have a get request, post, put, patch, delete. Okay, so all these request types we have here. And here you can see that we have request. Okay, so when we click on this, it will provide this information, right? But what we will do here is we will take this URL from here and copy it, go back to the Power Automate desktop, and from here under the HTTP section, pull the Invoke Web Service. Okay, and in the URL, just paste that URL. And the matter, as you can see, it is get, right? And on the portal also, it is get request. So it is going to accept the application slash XML. Content type will also be application slash XML. In custom headers, in this case, let's say if your API, the API which you are working on, it requires some authentication, right, or token or something. So you can provide the authentication header here. You can provide it like this: authentication, and then colon, and then whatever the token will be here. Okay, and here you can also provide some variable in case you have uh, you have stored the token in the variable. So like this you can provide multiple headers. Okay, but here we don't need it, so that is why I have removed it. And then we have request body. So let's say if you want to create an account, in that case you will be required to pass the information, or you want to update a particular information, then also you'll have to pass it in the request body, right? And then save response we have chosen as get text into variable, right? And you can also choose the save to disk, and then you'll have to, you know, select the file name and all, and you have to specify the destination. But as of now, we are going ahead with the get text into variable for web pages. Okay. Under the advanced sections, you have connection timeout. So let's say your API takes some more time, so you can increase this timeout number, right? So you have an option for follow redirection. You can clear the cookies, fail on error status. You can enable these options if you need it, and you can also encode the request body, right? And so this usually you will not require to modify this, but just in case for your specific API, if it is required, so make the necessary changes here. Okay, and here you can see that the encoding we have specified is auto detect. So let's say if you're working on a API which will provide information in very specific encoding, you can choose it from the list here. Okay, and if it is required to enable this accept untrusted certificates, you can choose this option as well, and you can enable HTTP authentication just in case if you need to provide username and password to log in or to get the access to that API. So as we don't need anything here, we will just keep it like this, and so the informations will be stored in these variables. So first one is web service response headers. The next one is web service response, and the status code will be stored in the status code. So as we have provided these information, because in our case these are the required information, so we have provided it already. So I will click on save, and then I will run the bot. Okay, so it will return the response in the JSON format. So let me run it and see what data it returns. So as you can see, status code is 200 and web service response is this, and web service response headers is this, right? So these are the header information. And if you see here, the data is retrieved. As you can see, the type of the data it is saying is text value, but it is actually in the JSON format. Okay, so we have an action in Power Automate called convert JSON to custom object, and here you can choose web service response, and the converted data will be stored in the JSON as custom object, and then click on save. And now when we run it, you will see that the JSON data will be converted and stored in this variable, right? You see here. So here we have page 2 per page 6, total is 12, and total pages is 2, and here in the data we have some information. And again you see that it is in the list data type, right? So in this, so now if I click on more, so you will see all the details of that particular user, right? So let's do one thing. Now that we know it is in custom object, so what I will do is I will take a display message, and then here I will choose JSON as custom object, and then here I will choose data. And inside data, when we go, then we have list, right? So let's say take the value whatever is there at the 0 index, and then take it again from the, let's say, third index. Okay, and when we run this bot, it should be able to display some information. Okay, so it gives error, so we have to check what is the data actually there, right? So we have gone this inside the custom object, which is JSON as custom object, and then we have gone inside the data, and at the 0 index we have this, and inside that we have some value, right? So we cannot specify the 0 here. So what we will do is, okay, so let's just keep it this way, and then run the bot and see what data we get here. As you can see, so this is the information we have, right? So now if you want to get the data for a specific ID, in that case what we have to do here is So as you can see here, that data is available inside the data, right? And then we have a list of values, right? And after this, when we click on more, first the data which is available at the zero index, then you see that we have key value pair, right? So ID is 7, email is Michael Lawson, first name, last name, and then avatar, right? So let's close it. So to get the data for a specific user, I will have to specify for which index you need that specific data. So let's say I want to get email for the user details which is available at the zero index. Now when I click on save and run the bot, you will see that it will show me that email ID, right? So just like this, if I want to get the other information for that particular user, which is, let's say, first name, so I can just come back and say that, okay, give me the first name, first underscore name, then it will show me the first name of that user, right? And in the same way, if you want to get this information, which is at the third index, right, we can just specify the key and the value related to that will be shown on the display message, correct? So this is how you can work with API to get data, right? So for example, let's say if you want to uh, so here we have another request, which is another type of request, which is to make the post request, right? So if you want to create an account, in that case what you'll have to do is you will have to change the URL, right? And because when you have you will provide the URL, and after this what you'll have to do is you'll have to provide the data that of that user which you want to be created, right? So you have to copy this, come back to Power Automate desktop and paste this in the inside the request body. So if you want to modify, let's say you want to make it Mike, and then you can say that IT lead, right? And then if you click on save, but before that you also have to modify the method. So now because this is a post method, I can click on post, right? And here again, if you have a specific some custom headers, you need to specify it using, let's say, for authentication, right? You can say authentication colon and then whatever is the value of that authentication key is, right? And then once I click on save, then I can run the bot. But here in this case, you will not need this convert JSON to custom object and all this, right? You can just put the breakpoint and run the bot. Still, you will see the result, which will be shown in the variable. So here in the web response, you can see that it says that ID 173 created at 21st, uh, 29th of December 2021, and this is the timestamp, right? So you can click on close. So this is how you can make the get and post request in the Power Automate desktop using the Invoke Web Service, right? In the upcoming video, I will show you how you can use the put, patch, and delete method in Power Automate desktop. So if you like this video, please click on the like button and please subscribe my YouTube channel. And if you have any question, please post it in the comment section so that I can help you. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.